Hey guys, been a long time since I've done a video. Today marks the 1 year anniversary of my shoulder surgery, and I want to take you through the recovery process over the last 6 months. Actually, I'll go through the last 7 because I started playing golf at the beginning of May, which was 5 months out from the surgery, and I started lifting a few weights here and there. So we're gonna dive in, and I'm gonna tell you what's been going on and how much external rotation I've lost and what you guys can expect if you're getting this type of surgery in the future. So at the beginning of May, I started playing golf. My golf swing wasn't quite there. I still had a lot of pain in my arm. I started to panic a little bit because I wanted to get back my external rotation in my arm. Getting into the gym, I was still super weak. I couldn't lift any weights. It was really hard in the gym. I had a really tough time in there. And I had a lot of pain. It was not easy. When I got to June, that marked the 6-month mark from the shoulder surgery, and even 6 months out, like a lot of the doctors say, you're going to be pain-free or you're going to not have too many problems about 6 months out. But for me, I still had lots of pain, probably because I was pushing it too hard, but I wanted to make sure I got back as much external rotation in my arm as possible. So I went through May, June, July, and August, and I guess you can count September in there too, where I played. I got up to playing, by the time I got to July, I was playing 5 and 6 times a week on the golf course, which was really good. We had a couple breaks in between when we had that huge heat wave. Not many people were playing. We had two and a half weeks there where it was really hot. So I got a little bit of a break in that period of time during the summer. And then after that, I really started extending myself and started playing a lot of golf. I had a few tournaments coming up. I played in 5 tournaments this year, which was extraordinary, given the fact that I was just out of surgery. It was 6 months out, 6 and 7 months out. So I was pretty happy with that. As far as my gym workouts went, they sucked. Like straight up, they absolutely were terrible. I was super weak all the way up until basically right now. Like my bench press just started going up right now. I've gone from 135 pounds about a month and a half ago to now I'm pressing 165 on the bench. So it's gone up 20-25 pounds around there. Not a lot, but hopefully over time it's gonna grow over the next year. I know that you can only put on so much muscle mass each month, so it's gonna take a little while. I'm gonna go through the period and the adjustment here now where I'm starting to get impatient with it because I'm lifting really hard and I'm not seeing that much results. So over this next period of time, the next 6 months, I should put on a lot of lean mass and get back to where I was pre-surgery. For all you guys that are wondering what was the time frame from when I started lifting again after my surgery, I couldn't start lifting weights until the end of the summer, which was, so June was the 6-month mark. So I played golf all the way until the end of September, and then I shut everything down again. I was doing little lifts here and there, but they were super light weights. I wasn't getting any volume in. It was really light. So at the end of September, I shut it right down, and I went through October, and then the beginning of November, I started lifting again because I felt that my arm was starting to get strong, and I was having less pain. So at the beginning of November, I started lifting again, and now I'm in a position where I can lift full force. I'm not having any issues with my arm, which is awesome. And I had this pain in the back part of my arm here, not even where the surgery was. It's in the back. It was in the back. And it was just lingering there. Like it was like tremendous pain. And they cut me open in the front, and I have this huge scar, and I haven't had any issues in the front whatsoever. It's all been in the back. I don't know why that is, but I got through it, and now I'm starting to lift full force again. I'm getting really strong. Just to clarify, my deadlifts now I'm lifting 315 with the deadlift. My bench press is at 165, which is still weak, but it's going to take a long time to put the muscle mass back on. It'll take me a year to get back to where I was pre-surgery. And my squats are starting to really go up too. I'm up to 315 pounds on the squat for 1 rep. So everything's coming along on that avenue. I had pain in my golf swing all throughout the summer, even though I was playing a lot. So that never really went away. People don't really know how much pain I was actually in. I was in a lot, and I was still hitting the ball really good. So that was okay. I didn't bitch about it. I just went about my business and did whatever I had to do there. But after I shut it down at the end of September, and I took that month off, and then I got into November, and then by the middle of November, my swing felt absolutely phenomenal, and I didn't have any issues with my arm at all. So all the pain is really gone. I got a little bit here and there when I put it into certain positions, but overall, super happy with it. Not complaining at all, that's for sure. I do want to show you guys how much external rotation I lost. Before I got the shoulder surgery, my arm was hypermobile. I used to have like tons of external rotation, and I'm definitely gone the other way with it. I didn't get as much back as I thought. So this is how much I lost, guys. If I put my arm up to a 90 like this is as far as I can go. It's stuck right there. I can't go any more than that. That's it. That's all I got. So you can see that's actually quite a bit. It's not fantastic, but it's enough for me to do the activities that I need to do in my life. As far as how much external rotation you're going to get back, it's going to be on a bell curve. Some people are going to get lots, so other people aren't going to get that much. It's just the way it is. It'll be just a random thing. Make sure you do your rehab. I would say get in there. Make sure you stretch right from the time you get out of surgery. Like within that 1 to 2 week period after you're out of your surgery, you got to start stretching it. That's what I did. I started moving it. I had a point in the 2.5 month to 3.5 month mark where I really started to panic because I wasn't seeing any external rotation, even though I'd been stretching a lot. I was doing it every day. I was doing it 3 times a day. So my advice is don't panic. It's going to take some time. You've got to keep doing it. I believe that even after you're fully recovered, you still got to stretch and do all those things, especially if you're an older person that's starting to lose mobility as it is. You got to make sure you keep going with it. Make sure you include a lot of mobility work in your gym workouts. That way you'll end up increasing the range over time. So here are the changes that I've made to my golf swing over the last 6 months. I'm going to take you through what I did pre-surgery and then what I have to do now to square the face post-surgery. So my pre-surgery swing, I would line up. And one of the things that I had to do, because I had hypermobility in my lead arm, was I would take it to the top and then I would have to delay my turn and drop my hands in like this. And then once I got my hands down to my back thigh, I would turn everything through together. And what this would do was it would allow me to square the face up properly through the shot. So with my new golf swing, what I have to do now is I actually fire the club more efficiently with my body. So I take it to the top like this, and because I have more internal rotation in my lead arm and it doesn't externally rotate as much, I can start from the ground up. So I shift my weight, and then my hips go, and then my shoulders start to go, and then my arms go. And I come into the impact with my hips open and my shoulders slightly open and a square face. Whereas before pre-surgery, if I were to turn like that with my hips open, because my arm had hypermobility, and I had the ability to externally rotate so much, I would end up flipping the club through the zone. And my face would be pointing down towards the ground at this point through the swing. So now, I just take it back, and I can efficiently turn from the ground up and come into the ball with a square face with my hips open and my shoulders slightly open too. So because I was in a lot of pain all the way through the summer until when I shut it down at the end of September, I had a really tough time hitting a draw. I couldn't hit a draw at all. Like during the whole summer, everything, especially with the driver, huge fades all day. And now I'm starting to get my draw to come back with the turn coming through the ball. So that's really nice. I think that my speed definitely increased. I was swinging the club 117, 118, and 119 in the summer, even though I was hitting this block cut. I'm super excited to start using the kinematic sequence a little bit more efficiently. I think this is really going to turn into a lot of speed because I'm using my body properly. And if you watch all the guys on tour, like their kinematic sequences are perfect, especially the longest guys. They're just crushing it. So I just want to show you guys real quick here about what I mean with my lead arm being internally rotated as I come through. So I'm talking about my humerus. So as I come in to the ball, my humerus doesn't externally rotate as much. So I have to really open up my body to square the face or do it more than I did before. If I come in like I used to pre-surgery and I drop my hands down and then I start to turn, my face is so wide open and I'll just hit blocks all day like I did during the summertime. So really getting my hips into the ball now, my hips, my shoulders, and then the arms. and it really allows me to square it up at the bottom and get that nice compression so I can just launch it out there. And recently I've noticed that my ball flight is starting to come back too. I didn't hit it quite as high this year, and it's starting to really get some elevation in there. So super happy with that. I have no pain in my arm whatsoever anymore when I swing. I can do whatever I need to do. My lack of external rotation sucks, but it's enough to play the game at a high level, so I'm super happy about that. So I just want to give you guys a little bit of advice. If you guys are having this surgery coming up, or you've had this surgery and you've had some of the same issues that I've had. So number one, you got to get on your rehab right away, right out of the surgery. I would recommend that you go see a physiotherapist. I didn't see one personally, but I've done the Kines program in college, so I kind of know what I'm doing. But for people that don't know what they're doing, definitely get in there and see a physiotherapist, because they can help you out a lot with this kind of stuff. This is where their expertise comes into play a lot. Secondly, you got to be patient. If you're not patient, you're going to struggle with it for sure. I definitely had periods during my rehab and my recovery where I was starting to get impatient and trying to force things a little bit too much, because I thought that I wasn't going to get the mobility and flexibility that I needed to do my sports and my personal things in my life. So be patient. That's definitely something that you got to take into account for sure. Thirdly, the time frame. It's going to take a long time to recover. There's no doubt about it, especially if they're cutting you open. If they do it arthroscopically, which they don't a lot of the time with this surgery, I know, but sometimes they do. But if they don't, if they cut you open, the time frame is going to be, it's going to be a long time. It's going to take you a year to recover. My pain didn't disappear until November. So understand that's going to take a long time. I know most doctors recommend that you'll probably be okay at the 6-month mark, but I would prepare, if you're getting this type of surgery, to have more of a 9 to 12 month recovery. Everybody is different. It'll be a bell curve as far as your recovery is concerned. Some people recover faster than others. But I would prepare, if you're getting the LATERJET, I would prepare that you are going to have a 9 to 12 month recovery, especially if they're cutting you open, because cutting through the muscle, and they have to cut through your rotator cuff and all that stuff, it takes a long time to recover. It's not minimally invasive, as they call it. Plan for a 9 to 12 month recovery. If you do recover in 6 months, great. I know I've read some people in the literature that recovered in 4 months and started playing contact sports again, which is absolutely remarkable. Make sure you do a lot of mobility work. You got to keep up with it. I think it's something that you should incorporate into your lifestyle over time, because as you get older, you start to lose mobility anyways. So make sure you keep up with a lot of your stretching and mobility exercises in the gym. I think it's important to take note that you guys aren't going to get a lot of your external rotation back in your arm. I think that is an important thing. Some people get all of it back. That's the thing. It's a bell curve. This is another situation where it's just a bell curve. Personally, I wouldn't bank on getting all of it back. I lost quite a bit. Like, I thought I was going to get more than I did. I didn't. I got more than the doctor told me I was going to get, but it was just a little bit more. And honestly, it was just enough for me to play golf at a high level again. If I would have had a little bit less rotation, I wouldn't be able to swing the club. So I would plan for that. I would make sure that you do the rehab diligently. Don't put it off. Do lots of stretching and stay up with it. Keep up with it, right? If you slack off, if you get into the 3, 4, 5 month mark and then start slacking off with it, your recovery is gonna take a hit. So make sure you get in there, you do the rehab, and you do it diligently. All right, guys, so I think that's it for today. I hope you guys can take a little bit of this information and apply it to yourself if you are a candidate for the LATERJET procedure. I think that's all I got. So Merry Christmas. We'll see you guys in the new year. So I woke up to a little Snapchat story about me being in the hospital a year ago and just fucking around in the thing. So check this out.
Really good. They got me on these pain meds. They are unbelievable.
I actually don't remember any of that. I was super ripped. The only thing I remember is I was hitting on the nurses, which was just naturally what I do whenever I have to go in there anyway. So